come close now, and listen. This is an old story, old as firelight, old as the ache of loving someone so much you'd give up your very voice for them. Once in a kingdom hedged round by deep forest, there lived a king with 7 children, 6 sons and 1 daughter, quiet and gentle as moonlight on snow. The king, being a widower and perhaps a little lonely, wandered into that dark wood one day and became hopelessly lost. A woman appeared at the edge of the trees, still and watchful, with eyes like winter water. She offered to lead him out, but her price was this: he must take her daughter as his queen. The king, afraid of the forest and its shadows, agreed. He should have listened to that small, cold feeling in his chest. He should have turned around, but he did not. And so, a new queen came into the castle, and the trouble, quiet as a held breath, began. The new queen was beautiful, the way a frozen lake is beautiful, lovely to look at, treacherous underfoot. She quickly understood that the king's children stood between her and the thing she wanted most: his whole heart, his whole attention. She was a witch, you see. Her mother had raised her on dark knowledge, the way some mothers teach their daughters to bake bread or embroider linen. So she sewed 6 little shirts, white silk, quick fingers, cold smile, and one by one she lured the 6 princes into her reach and threw a shirt over each of them. And just like that, 6 boys became 6 white swans. They rose into the air, crying out in voices that were almost human, and flew away over the castle walls and into the gray sky. The youngest daughter saw it all from a window above. She pressed her hands to the cold glass and watched her brothers disappear, and she wept. But she did not stop watching. She would need to remember the direction they flew. She ran into the forest, through bramble and bracken, over root and stone, until her slippers were ruined and her hair was wild, and she didn't care at all. She ran until she found a little hut, and inside it, 6 small beds, 6 small cloaks. She knew, the way you know things in dreams, that this was her brother's shelter. She hid herself under one of the beds and waited. At dusk, 6 white swans came sweeping through the window, and when they landed, they blew on each other, a tender, strange thing to see, and the feathers fell away, and there were her brothers, 6 young men, laughing and bewildered, with 15 minutes, only 15 minutes each day, of being human. She crept out. They held each other close and wept and whispered. And then one of them told her the terrible condition of her hope. She could free them, but only by sewing 6 shirts from starward flowers, and only if she never once spoke a word or laughed for 6 whole years. Not one sound. 6 years of silence, or all was lost. She nodded. She did not hesitate, even a breath. That is the kind of love this story is about. She found a hollow tree at the forest's edge and made it her home. She gathered starwort by day, her fingers bleeding from the rough stems, and she sewed by night, her eyes aching in the thin moonlight. She did not speak. She did not laugh. She held her silence like a lantern, sheltering the small flame inside it. One day a king came riding through the wood, a different king, from a different kingdom, and he saw her there, pale and still and beautiful as a winter saint. He spoke to her gently. She only looked at him. He offered her his hand. She could not say yes, but she could not say no, and so she went with him, carrying her bundle of half half-finished shirts under her arm, her needle still threaded. They were married. She was a good queen, kind and careful, and every spare moment she had, every stolen hour, she sewed. Now the king's mother did not like this silent bride. Silence, to a suspicious mind, looks like secrets. And the shirts, the constant sewing, it seemed strange, uncanny. What manner of woman was this, who never laughed, never spoke, only sewed those coarse, rough blossoms into cloth? 3 times the queen gave birth. 3 beautiful children, one after the other. And 3 times the king's mother took the child away in the night and went to the king with a terrible lie, saying his mute wife had done away with her own baby. The king loved his wife. He did not want to believe it, but the babies were gone, and she could not speak to defend herself, and doubt is a patient, poisonous thing. It grows in the dark. By the 3rd time, even the king's love had been worn thin by grief and whisper. He gave his mother what she wanted. A trial was called. A sentence was passed. Burning. They would burn her at the stake for what she was accused of doing. And still, she did not speak. The morning they led her out, she brought the shirts. 6 of them, nearly finished. The 6th shirt, just the one, still needed its left sleeve. She sewed as they walked her through the streets. She sewed as they tied her to the stake. She sewed as they piled the wood around her feet, her fingers moving fast, faster, the needle flashing in the cold morning light. The crowd was silent. Even the king could not look away. There was something in her face, not fear, not defiance, something closer to prayer. A woman counting down the last heartbeats of a promise she had kept through everything. And then, a sound in the sky. A rushing, a beating of great white wings. 6 swans came sweeping down from the clouds, circling low, lower, crying out in those voices that were almost human. She pulled the last stitch. She threw the shirts over them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the 6th, the sleeve still missing. And the feathers fell and the wings folded away. 6 young men stood in the square. Her brothers, in the cold morning air. The youngest had one arm that was still a wing, soft and white, where the sleeve had not been finished in time. But he was alive. They were all alive. And she opened her mouth, and she spoke. The first words in 6 years, and they came out like a river breaking through ice, clear and unstoppable. She told everything. The witch queen and her father's kingdom, the shirts, the silence, the children still alive, hidden away by the jealous mother-in-law who confessed it all under the weight of those watching eyes. The truth, once spoken, cannot be unspoken. The king held his wife and wept into her hair. The children were returned. The wicked mother-in-law was punished, as wickedness must be. And the stepmother, far away in that other kingdom, received her own reckoning in time. The family came together that evening, the way weary travelers come to a warm fire, grateful, quiet, full. 6 brothers, 1 sister, and love that had endured 6 long years of silence to find its voice at last. And that, my dear, is enough.